Oh, hi! It's the weekend. Time for toy sharing. Now, I've mentioned the previous weeks that we're going to have two more figures that we're going to share for this year, and these are actually Kamen Riders. Duh. They're Kamen Riders. Now, um, well, this is actually one of my newer figures. These were I guess would be my newer purchases since these are the figures that I got very recently, and actually this adds up to my Reiwa collection. Since I started Reiwa with Kamen Rider Revise, who is actually the third Reiwa rider and my second favorite series, next to Kamen Rider Force. And I was thinking that it seems like it's but my Reiwa line is pretty small. It's just one series. But then again, I have seven riders in the Reiwa series, namely Revi, Vice, Live, Evil, um, Jean, Aguilera, and Demons. Right, so I basically gotten all the seven characters for Revise, but now I wasn't really expecting this, but I was able to find a figure. I was able to find the figure that I needed because uh, it just happened. So, and I'm pretty happy with this, and at least I can end the year sharing Kamen Riders and an additional rider for my Reiwa collection. And who else could it be than the first Reiwa rider, Kamen Rider 01 for this week. Now, the Reiwa series, the Reiwa era, I mean, is started in 2019. So ending the Kamen Rider ZO after Kamen Rider ZO ended, which ended the Heisei line or the Heisei era. Then in 2019, 2019 towards 2020, then started the Reiwa era. Now, so far for the Kamen Rider series, there have been three eras that we have: Showa, Heisei, and Reiwa. Now, basically, this is coinciding with the reigns or the eras of the Emperor of Japan. Now, with Emperor Naruhito taking over the Chrysanthemum throne, and they now named this era for Kamen Rider as the Reiwa era, and started with Kamen Rider 01. Actually, they were the it's initially known as Kamen Rider Ray 1, but Ray basically in the language basically like a zero. So they then Englishised it to Kamen Rider 01. Now, with regards to the design of Kamen Rider 01, well, the box design now, you have, if you've seen my previous videos on Kamen Rider Revise, it has now transitioned into the new packaging, which is a narrower. It's a lot narrower, a lot thicker though, unlike before. But then again, they've also changed the color scheme to something more bright, unlike the previous Heisei lines where it's more black, more dark. Now, if you're gonna see the design for Kamen Rider 01, well, it's basically it's very basic. It's very simple. They actually plan to harken back to the old designs of Kamen Rider, specifically the Kamen Rider Ichigo, which is the original Kamen Rider in 71, and also Kamen Rider Black. In a sense of the colorways, and at the same time with the way it's generally looked at. Also, they're trying to the premise or the concept for Kamen Rider 01 is AI, wherein they also had these what they call human gears or AI life forms, and but in terms of the weapons in itself and the way of and the transformation of the henshin, they brought it back to the insect type, like insect type or the insect style, wherein it's literally an insect and putting on the armor. So let's open this up. Oh, by the way, this is the Rising Hopper, which is the first form. I usually just collect the first form since that is the main form. And of course, if you're gonna buy the other form, it's pretty expensive. But then again, yeah, you gotta save money when you can. So this is now the type of the figures we're in. Honestly, it kind of is annoying. But then at the end of the day, if you were a businessman, you would understand that. I mean, you can nickel and dime it by putting what you need to other figures, right? So that you'll more or less be forced to buy other figures, and this is exactly what it is. So we got the basic figure. The whole figure itself is basic. Remember, I always talk about value. What value? So it starts with for me, SH Figuart starts with the basic value of figure and hands. If there's anything else, let's say weapons or a stand or a special effect, that's already value because it's basically around the same price. So this is the figure. This is actually very, very basic. It's just the figure and 3 sets of extra hands with an extra pointing hand. The thing that I found actually most annoying is recently, well, despite me understanding it, is that if you need other things from the figure, especially for the main figure, you have to buy it. You have to buy the secondary characters, which is, I mean, it adds to your cost, right? But then again, if you really like collecting the figure, then why not? Because we will be talking about that in a few minutes. So again, this is the figure. So we open the figure up. It's pretty basic. Honestly, it's it's very, very basic in a sense that there's nothing else really additional to it. But despite the basicness, or despite it looking very basic or it doesn't really look much, it's actually a very beautiful figure. Because first off, you have to see the detail of the parts of the neon colors. For it's very, very bright, and it's basically like added armor. So the contrast of the black and the neon is very, very pronounced, and you can see the difference. Aside from that, the detail is so good. Even from the back, you can see all these armor details. Actually, another thing also is that with this figure, Kamen Rider figures are usually displayed or packaged with a fist. Now they've now changed. Actually, for Kamen Rider Revised, it has changed. They now package it with an open hand, I guess maybe for posing. But I won't go through with the articulation, as SH Figuarts collectors know. Articulation is always on point. You can see small details like some texture. You can actually see how detailed this is, despite being it only black and yellow green, or yellow, I guess, black and yellow. They even put texture in the sides, like it's part of a suit, part of a wetsuit. They have added texture. It's like these small holes. Also from the crotch area, they've added texture to that aside from the normal black. So you can see that they've put effort in it, despite it just being, despite the colors being simple. They have put a lot of effort in this figure. They put a lot of effort in its planning, and it's great. It's a cool figure. Honestly, if you just like figures, if you just like the basic figure, and you like to pose these figures, it's great. It's a great figure. It's very, very basic. Yes, it's very basic. If you're used to the old Kamen Riders, wherein they do have weapons, they do have additional stuff, yes, you will feel that it's a little bit lacking. I will admit it. It's going to be lacking because that's because we got used to it. But then again, changes come. It is what it is. So now they're starting to package this as package the main figure as basic, and then anything else that you add will come from the other figures. That's because we have a spoiler for next week, because the thing here is that one thing that is actually pretty that's honestly is pretty, this has been a trend now for I actually thought that it was just for Revise, because the Revise's weapon is, I mean, it changes. So that basically, if you want anything additional for your main figure, you have to buy secondary figures. And an example for that is, it actually, I didn't know that it already started with 01, because he does actually have a main weapon, and that main weapon is his sword, which comes from a tape. And this is what it looks like. This is its sword. Right? It actually transforms from parts of his driver. It is a sword, right? This is the sword that he starts with, right? And the thing is, you cannot buy the sword from the figure. You have to buy a second figure, which is Kamen Rider Vulcan. This is Kamen Rider Vulcan. So this will be our next figure. This will be our next figure that we'll be talking about for next week. I'm just bringing him out as a spoiler. But then again, you have to buy this figure just to get the sword. Yes. You have to buy a totally new figure to add to the sword. So that's, I mean, if you're looking for value, it's going to be double. You gotta buy two figures. But then again, if you're a fan, I'm sure you'll buy it anyway. But in terms of value, it's just the figure and the hands. So I would say it's not that good, because it's very basic. But if you like the weapons, you have to buy the other figures. And then that's going to be the trend. I believe that is now the trend for Kamen Rider. And actually for next year, if you'll see my other videos, I'll be posting other videos for the newer SH Figuarts stuff that we have. It's basically like buy other figures to get the other stuff. But then again, it is what it is. Yeah, so it's pretty short, but thank you very much for watching the video. So, but personally, figure wise, great figure. Also, if you're a Kamen Rider fan, he is the first Reiwa rider. He's the first Reiwa rider, and the story is pretty good. Also, the characters are also pretty good, and I love the look. It's very nostalgic for the older figures. So I love the look. I love the figure. I was able to get a good deal on this, and the details are amazing. The details are amazing. He's a perfect initial rider for the Reiwa series, and great launching point for the Reiwa series of Kamen Rider. So if you want to buy the figure, personally, I will buy the figure. I'm just a little bit annoyed that for weapons I need to buy another figure. But then again, it ended up good for me, because as a collector, I mean, it's an extra figure. So, but if you just want the one figure, well, you have to pose him without his weapon. So, personally, value-wise, not so good. It's basic. To get weapons, very annoying. You have to buy a second figure. But overall, it's good figures. I'm not saying it's nothing bad about the product. Product is very good. So, it's just that you will be spending more. But then again, it's the hobby.